Hi Ultimate Gardeners, welcome back to the Ultimate Gardening channel. In today's exciting sprouting video, we'll be discussing about the Frida Kahlo Floribunda Rose from Heirloom Roses. So let's jump right into this video. So before we actually jump straight about this amazing rose, I want to discuss a little bit about Heirloom Roses. So this is a family-owned company that grow and sell only roses, from climbers, from floribundas, from all different types of roses. They have it from different colors, different shapes, different sizes. They are an amazing company to purchase from because it's so breathtaking to see how much variety they have for you guys to purchase. So I reached out to them for a partnership, and I was so delighted to hear that they actually accepted it, and they gave me the option to choose a rose from their website. And like always, it was so difficult to do because of their amazing quantity of roses. So I decided to go with the Frida Kahlo Floribunda Rose. This is an amazing rose. I fell in love with it first time I saw it because it is a multicolored rose and it stays pretty decent sized. It doesn't get overly big or it's not too small. It's dressed right for my garden. So I chose it, and we'll be showcasing it today. We'll be discussing about what to expect when you receive your rose in the mail, a planting guide, and a growing / care guide for this amazing rose. So let's jump right into our first topic. So rolling into our first topic is what to expect when you receive your rose in the mail. So you will receive a 1 gallon sized box, meaning that box suits especially for 1 gallon sized containers, which all the roses come in 1 gallon sized containers. That's the size they offer them in. And so once you receive it, you want to take your rose out the box immediately. You want to take it out the box, and once the rose comes out the box, it should look something like this photo right here. It will have a box covering the pot so no soil could escape, and it will have a thin bamboo stake in the middle so it can prevent the rose from moving during shipment. And another thing you might notice is how the plant is completely defoliated. You could even see that you can barely see the rose on camera because it's defoliated. What they do this because it will actually restrain a little bit more moisture during the shipment, and like it's 5 days during transit, roses are a bit more on the complicated side when it comes to shipping, so they defoliate it so it can prevent any type of shock during shipment. So that's why it defoliates, but don't stress out because this rose arrived to me about 3 days ago, and it is literally already growing out in new growth, so you'll have beautiful foliage within days. So coming into our next topic, which is the fun part, the growing guide. So really simple, it sort of depends or varies on where you are at. So if you live in a drought climate, I would recommend planting your rose so you have the crown of the rose, where that's sort of the unit where it's either grafted or where it's grown at. Every rose will have a crown that will separate the foliage and its roots. If you live in a drought area, I would recommend planting that crown about half an inch to an inch below surface level. But if you live in a tropical to subtropical area like me, where there's a lot of rain and humidity, you want to plant that crown unit about half an inch to an inch above soil surface because that will prevent rotting. But when you're in a drought climate, that doesn't really matter. So that's number one. Number two, roses really love fluffy, well-draining, and amended soil. So I have a little bucket of new soil right here that I'm going to be amending it with. I'll remove any large rocks in the hole once I dig it out. But one thing to note is do not use granule fertilizers. When you receive your rose, it has a lot of new growth when it comes to roots. And if you use granule fertilizer, it will burn those roots. And I've done that before, and it's not fun whatsoever. So you want to prevent that problem with only using liquid fertilizer, which we'll be discussing later on in the video. So don't amend with granule fertilizer, only with fresh soil, and take out all the bad rocks or the big rocks and fluffen up that soil so it could be good and ready for when you plant your rose. So we already talked about the planting guide, easy, simple steps when it comes to planting a rose. Now let's talk about the growing / care guide. When it comes to roses like this one, you want to read about how much sunlight they require, which is our first topic or first tip, sunlight requirements. Every rose requires 6 to 7+ hours of direct sunlight, or even more. They love the sun. They can't live a day without sun, so you need to give them the amount of sunlight they need to be happy and thrive. Number 2 is watering. Sort of like what it ties in with the well draining situation. You want to make sure you water every 2 to 3 days if you live in a more drought climate. But if you are in a more humid to tropical area, I would recommend watering every 3 to 4 days or even every 3 to 5 days, because it sort of depends where you are at. Number 3 is the fertilizing situation. Like I said before, no granular fertilizer for at least the first year you have your rose. You only want to use liquid fertilizer, which could be diluted with water, because you don't want nothing so overpowering for your rose that could end up burning the roots. So you only want to use a liquid fertilizer that could be diluted with water, and that you can use for the entire year. You can use that every month or every 2 months, depends on what you feel is best for your rose. And number 4 is deadheading, which is the most important thing when it comes to a rose's life. When you come to deadhead, you have the spent bloom. You want to trace it down to the first set of 5 leaves. Cut it there, make a diagonal cut, not a straight cut, a diagonal cut, so your rose can prevent it from rotting that stem. You want to cut diagonally, not straight. So once you cut that, it will actually promote the plant from bushing out and creating more sturdy flowers for you guys. So that's gonna be it for this exciting sprouting video, you guys. I had so much fun filming this video, and a huge shout outs to Heirloom Roses for actually partnering with us on this video. All their info down below, all their media sites, their website, everything you want to learn is down below in the description box for you guys to check out. Highly recommend this amazing company, and go purchase some of their roses because they have some really breathtaking stuff. So thank you all so much for watching this video. May God bless you and your family, and never forget to grow big, Ottoman gardeners. Bye guys.